All right, let's talk about the Open, dude. So tell me, are you still in it? Like, did you qualify?
No, well, so I made it to quarterfinals, which had already happened. So quarterfinals is for the CrossFit Games season. It's the next round after the CrossFit Open.
Okay.
So did those workouts, the CrossFit Open, the three workouts, and was able to finish in the top 25% for my age group, and actually for the individuals, which is like the younger, like the main group of people, what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's, so yeah, made it to the top 25%, and then quarterfinals is another series of workouts, and then that gets weaned down pretty extreme from like for my age group, it was like 3,000 down to 200
Oh,
people.
is that what they took? Like top 200? Damn,
Yeah, that's
that's
what
a
they,
small group.
yeah. So I made it 520th place.
Ooh.
So 320 away.
Yeah. Wow.
Um,
Do you feel like you could have done more, or did you leave it all out there and it wouldn't have mattered?
yeah, no, I feel like I did really good on those workouts for me.
Yeah.
I did. I mean, if I like would have seen those workouts on a regular day of training, just working out for just, health and fun, I think, yeah, I think I did pretty good. But, there's people that they really sell their soul, and, meaning like, they get into like the darkest pain cave, and I just I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, so hopefully, uh, I just know what I need to focus on, is if I, it's just for fun, and it's kind of cool to like see where you stack up,
Yeah.
with other people your age, and, the in the sport of CrossFit, you know. So, um, so it's over for me, but I'll probably do the semifinal workouts anyways.
Yeah.
Because it's an online competition for the age group people. The like the main people, the individuals, they go in person in
Yeah.
these like, bigger televised events, where it's like it's super tight competition. Uh in different regions only have a certain amount of spots. So that's kind of the drama right now.
But
Is
don't you also think maybe this is why it took so long for your guys' scores to post? Because if they have to watch all the videos online, they're not being like verified in person by coach and just submitted. I mean, that seems to me like why it took so long to sort of get everything input accurately.
Yeah, well, they're actually still going through the leaderboard, so nothing is even finalized. So yeah, I say 520th, but my score could improve in the next few days here. There's a lot of people getting invalidated scores for, for no reps, basically for
Yeah.
reps, not yeah, just like not opening up their hips, like on the box has been a big one. So there's box step ups in one of the workouts.
Yeah, we just did that one the other night. So
Yeah.
has yours been validated? You're good?
You know what? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I could find out right now. If I can tell you, it's really easy to see. Hold on. It's probably still pending. It just says submitted. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
submitted scores. So yeah, I could my placing could improve, but I kind of look at it as like it would be a miracle to go from 520 all the way to 200. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, I'm not like sitting there like, oh my gosh, is somebody's score going to get invalidated so much it bumps me up spots. So
Yeah, that would be significant. And if they disqualified that many people, there's definitely a problem with that system.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, they were, I think they were just having like general leaderboard issues earlier because we did, yeah, there was like a brief period of time where no one knew for the age group. And so I think CrossFit had something wrong with the just the back end of their scoreboard system because there
Yeah.
was a lot everyone was getting a lot of weird numbers, like they'd look it up one way and then they would see their score was like 1000th and then they'd look up their score a different way and then it would be like 300. So people were getting multiple scores. It just depended on where they looked in the CrossFit Games app. So I think they fixed most of that. So yeah.
Yeah. So you don't think there's anything nefarious? I know you messaged Dave Castro and was
Oh, yeah.
asking what's up with the scores, man. And you got that.
Yeah, they were probably working on it. I just messaged
And that
him.
was a thumbs up for people just listening. It wasn't a finger up. It was a thumbs
Oh
up.
yeah, it's a thumb. It was a thumb.
Yeah.
I was like, good job on the open, Dave. Any news on the age group scoreboard? And he just sent me a thumbs up. I would
Wouldn't it
imagine.
be cool though if we all just only communicated with emoji, you know? It
Oh yeah,
could make things very simple. It could also complicate things because there's certain ones like with like a half a face. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what
yeah,
is the emotion behind this? Because I don't know, but now I use it and I don't even know why.
yeah. And there's some crazy emojis these days. Some of them like get some traction, right?
Yeah.
Like people start using them and they become popular, and you see them.
Yeah. We've come a long way in the emoji world where there was like a handful that could fit on one like screen of your phone. Now there's just like endless pages of them.
I mean, I feel like I still stick to the classics.
Well, of course. That's you though.
Thumbs up, like the muscle arm. I use that a lot.
Fire. I use fire all
Fire,
the time.
for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I venture much further than that. Like maybe like a black heart.
Yeah. Or the little devil signs. I enjoy using
Yeah,
those, the
that's
purple
that's
little
like
devils. Yeah.
that's your emoji because it's
Y-
like also purple.
Yes, exactly. And he's like smiling, but he's sinister. So it's like kind of perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So for our listeners, this is going to be something new that Tom and I start doing weekly as sort of an update. Let's talk about relevant affairs of what's happening or health, fitness, music, genre, whatever it is, our staff, our curriculum, our modality, our core values, whatever it is. Every week we're going to take up a new subject or two and just riff about it.
Yeah. I'm excited. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Awesome. Glad to be here. I'm
You
glad
will
to
be
have you
good
here.
too.
Glad we're here.
Yeah. So how did you do in the open?
I actually completed all the workouts. I actually did
Good.
them all RX, but of course they kind of set it up that way. So, I wouldn't have been disqualified until I got to the muscle ups, but it was more of an endurance thing for me. I did okay. I feel good that I actually did it this year. I paid, I registered, did it up at the center with everybody. I feel decent about it. I mean, I was nowhere near placing like you were, but like you said, I'm also not necessarily in a place where I want to go to that pain cave to kind of achieve those results.
Yeah. What was your favorite workout of the three?
Hmm.
Like which one
Favorite?
did you feel was like your best workout, or like which one did you enjoy the most?
I was okay with the first one with the dumbbells. I was able to navigate that pretty easily. 35 is a pound that I use a lot. I know for a lot of people that one was challenging, but for me, I was able to get that one done pretty good. Uh,
Yeah.
and also because, I was worried, I was partnering up with clients. And so anytime we can like work out together and I had a client, keeping track of my scores, was that the one I had a client or Andrew? I don't know, but it's always fun when you can do it as like a group activity and you're all doing it together. So that one was my favorite one. The last one, I actually enjoyed the movements the best, but I just did not do that well at it. I think it was like a 10-minute cap or something. So I didn't achieve a lot, but I felt good that I was able to move the weight and get chest to bars because The open is where I got my first chest to bar many, many years ago when that was there. I'd never been able to get one. And so I always have an affinity for the open because I think it helps push you beyond your normal limits and do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do.
Yeah, that's like the most exciting part for I think the community, the
Yeah.
CrossFit community, or even if you've been doing, yeah, just like recreational, just working out, doing some CrossFit for fun. But there's all these skills
Yeah.
that take a lot of time and they're scary. Some of them are scary.
Yeah.
Like do a bar muscle up, for instance, like that's scary. And
And hard.
yeah, and then there's a lot of those moments that people have, and so they usually put a movement in the open where like somebody's going to have that epic moment. And this year it was the bar muscle up for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And man, it's just kind of going on a thought. The as like a coach, that there's been so many like cool videos of people dissecting the muscle up movement. And it's like a really hard thing to coach in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. CrossFit, they try to set you up with doing strict things first before you get into, anything kipping and stuff like that. But it's so many people make great videos on like how to do a muscle up, and they broke down the movement in different ways. And so because of that, and everyone's just like commitment, like all the coaches in the world just trying to get people to have their first muscle up.
Yeah.
All this new strategy of teaching someone how to do a muscle up is like really unfolded, and it's so cool, and it makes so much more sense
Huh.
than like a traditional way.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, there's a lot to watch, but like the main thing is just like the first jump, and then like bringing your knees up is like it would work better if I could show you,
Demonstrate it. Yeah.
demonstrate it, but
Yeah. Right now it's just sort of figuratively. So
yeah,
it's funny you brought that out. You remember when we did our L1 together out at the ranch, and
yeah.
I almost left because we were doing, I think it was Fran, and the guy who was putting us through the seminar that weekend to give us our certification was basically, if you can't do strict pull-ups,
Yeah.
then, I don't know, he wanted us to use a band or modify in some way. And I worked so long, and I finally was able to be doing like kipping pull-ups. And so I got up on the bar and I just was like doing kipping, and he came back over. He's like, no, you have to do strict. And I'm like, dude, once I learned how to kip, I kind of like lost my ability to do strict, and he wouldn't let me do them. I was so fucking mad because I'm like, dude, I can do a pull-up. Why do you care the way I do it? The way Fran's written is, a pull-up. It doesn't say a strict pull-up, but I was so mad. I like left and I went in the barn. I was so close to leaving. I was so pissed. My ego was hurt.
Yeah.
And I was so close to leaving. If you and I hadn't like driven there together, I might have actually left, but I kind of took a breath and put my big girl pants on and went back out and finished the workout. But I was so fucking mad because they were like, yeah, if you can't do it strict, you shouldn't be doing anything kipping.
Yeah, they were touching on pull-ups, I remember, at the very, very end, right before we were about to do the workout, and everyone thought it was Fran. But it wasn't. It was actually 21, 15, 9 thrusters and burpees. Remember?
Okay.
So they like baited us into thinking it was Fran like the
Yeah.
entire weekend, like
Yeah.
that everyone was going to do Fran. Everyone was going to do Fran. Like you thought you were doing Fran all the way up until that
Yeah.
moment.
And when we were doing the pull-ups,
Switched
we
the
were like
workout.
practicing for it, right?
Yeah. They had us like fooled. It was like this big joke
Yeah.
almost. They call them the red shirts, like they like do that with every group or something.
Oh
They
man.
make you think you're going to do Fran.
Yeah.
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 You
Well, and
do.
I remember even when we were doing Fran, so what is the thruster weight on that? Like 65 or something?
Yeah.
But it's burpees, and that's a lot of cardio because it's not heavy weight, and it's a lot of endurance, and it was like 100 degrees out there. And I remember them coming like, no, you should scale back, you should drop your weight, because I wasn't moving fast enough for them. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm not dropping from 65 pounds on a thruster just so I could go faster. I was so angry with him. I made it through. I got my certification, but boy, it was like the biggest ego check ever for me, which is hard because I'm also not used to people telling me what to do.
Yeah, I think yeah, in CrossFit, that's a tough thing to get people to do
Yeah.
is to scale back to get the right stimulus for the workout. Because yeah, if you're getting too slowed down on something, that usually means let's lighten the weight so you like can attack like the burpees with more intensity. And that's probably where they're coming from. But it's a hard thing to do, and I didn't do it. Like I would bury myself in like any RX weight when I first started.
Yep.
And it
Yep.
was you, me, Dallas,
Yeah.
other people at the time that were working at Elevate, and yeah, it was kind of like going through it the hard way. That's what we thought. We thought we were like extra cool for like just getting capped in a workout and like and moving super slow, you know.
I will still all day, any day, go RX and be super slow.
Yeah.
And I fight the cap. If I'm close, I'm like, I'm just gonna go over here and finish. And every coach is like, okay, Angie, whatever, go do your thing. But like in my mind, if I can do RX, God damn it, I'm gonna do RX because, like, for example, the open, you do 1 rep at RX, you already beat all those people that are scaled. So my competitive mind is like, maybe I'll finish last, but at least I'm doing it RX.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely, you definitely beat anyone doing it scaled, but um, I guess like now that I've been in CrossFit for longer, I understand that like why they have people do that. Um, it's you dial it back to get like a better workout, you get more reps in, you get more more of what they're looking for the workout. Like every workout kind of should feel a certain way for somebody, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, it's a tough I mean, I still do it all like I'll still go into a workout with like a little bit of ego and like kind of question it like maybe I should scale this back and I'll still fight through it at the end it's always a mistake. I'm like, damn it. I should have been smarter and known myself a little bit more. Like this morning I was doing a workout that had ring muscle ups in it and I can do them. I can only do 7 unbroken. So like a workout that has where it was like adding more every round of ring muscle ups. I should have known that I was going to get into trouble because there's no way I should be like sitting there staring at the rings in the workout. Like, gosh, I need to get more reps. I should be able to, move on to the next thing. You don't want to get stuck anywhere, just, not working out essentially because you can't do something. And so yeah, it happened to me today. The same thing. Even though I know better now, I feel like it's just sometimes you just don't know yourself enough, or you're a little overzealous or whatever about like your own ability.
But I think that also works in reverse because I had what happened to me last week is, I run the staff class up at Elevate once a week, and I typically will work out with the staff and coach them while I'm working out and all that at once. Because, they're a little, I don't need as much intensive coaching. So it was some workout Todd's programmed, and it was 95 pounds hang cleans plus a bunch of other things. And I was going to go 85 because I also go straight from that class into the client class. And so I don't want to like completely wreck myself because I'm like got to be on like immediately afterwards and like fully aware and paying attention. And so I was going to go 85, even though it's 95, just to preserve whatever, because now I've almost swung in the opposite direction. And one of our staff, Dana, was in there, and I asked her, so are you doing 95? She's like, oh yeah. And then I was like, I don't know if I feel okay about like not doing 95 when she's doing 95.
Right.
And And at the same time, if I can do it, and here's the other thing where I've talked myself out of like my ability because I don't do it as often, and maybe I can't do it RX as much. So now I've almost swung the pendulum where I'm like taking it easy on myself when maybe I should be pushing a little harder. So I ended up putting the 95s on there and did the whole workout RX, no problem. And I was like, damn, dude, I would have, if she hadn't been in there doing 95, I would have like happily not. And so now I think there's both sides of it. So now I've got to swing the pendulum back to where I'm like challenging myself more instead of giving myself an out because of these other reasons.
Yeah. What do you see more of with the clients? People not
Mm.
pushing themselves hard enough, or people like destroying themselves like they have a vendetta? Like
Oh
with,
man. So I know for me, my coaching has changed a lot. Like I am encouraging people to stay light,
yeah,
not push that hard. Their bodies aren't the best, their endurance mindset, it's just not where it is. And sometimes I feel like, so for example, we'll do a staff class and let's say that the general time is 20 minutes. So I'll go into that with the clients, but the clients are doing significantly less weight, modifying, and they'll finish it in like 15. And I'm thinking to myself, I should have pushed them a little harder. I should have had them put a little more weight on the bar. I should have, challenged them a little more because I almost think sometimes I err on the side of now making it too easy for them. But at the same time, we don't want injuries and we're working through a lot of stuff with them. Some of them are straight out of detox. So it's definitely an adjustment. And then also you don't want them drilling in bad form, like going too heavy too soon, and then their form is bad because we know that's where injuries and everything else happens as well.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think with the clients, a lot of the time, yeah, better form for sure. A little bit less weight than they think they're ready for.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only people I really that fight that are the ones that come in like kind of muscular already, like
Yeah,
weightlifter types, and so they're always wanting to, uh,
builders.
yeah, and then they're just like want to strict everything, and they have the strength, and it's like cool, you can strict, but let's learn how to use the motion and your body, and you can lift more, but that is a tough transition for some people who are used to very traditional kind of lifting to
Yeah,
then like be open to learning a different style.
right. Yeah, it's like that's kind of how I came into it too, with the like bodybuilding background, like a little bit of powerlifting. So a lot of some squats, bench press, deadlifts. I had those things, was doing those things for a long time. And
Yeah.
then so you have a lot of this, you have the strength necessary to do a lot of the things, but so you kind of bypass over the skill just because you can muscle through it. You can muscle through like a not so good looking clean or something like that. So yeah, no, yeah, those guys myself, yeah, tough people to work with when
It
learning
is, they
CrossFit.
are the most challenging
They're
because they can,
challenging.
and I get it, even myself, like that's why I had to, they wouldn't even let me do power cleans because they're like, you pull too early, you're just stricting it up. And so they had me really focus on the hang clean so that you learn how to use the momentum
Mhm.
before you just strict everything up. So that one was like helpful for me when I was learning because I would just strict everything too.
Yeah, yeah, gotta love CrossFit. Yeah,
I know. And we got to work our weaknesses. I think we tend to go, and I tell the clients this, we go to what we're good at and we just want to do more of that because we feel good about it. But really, we can't cherry pick and we got to come in and work on our weaknesses.
yeah, yeah. Big thanks to you though, because I feel like I was starting to not care about exercising as much, and then boom, the gym at Elevate just opened up.
Mm.
And I probably have said this so many times on some show in the past, but like yeah, and, my friend Dallas that worked with Elevate, we were like, are we going to do this? Like completely switch to being a CrossFitter, and we both were like, all right, let's do it, and never look back. It's big thank you there, because it's been like such a big part of my life,
Yeah.
and just being healthy.
Yeah. Well, can we talk about that for a second? So like the transformation, because you were already like, doing the weightlifting, the powerlifting, you were running like long periods of time, and you had a very healthy, fit look,
Mhm.
way more like built on the top half, chest, back, that sort of stuff. But your body has transformed so much from doing CrossFit, which is funny because it seems like there's a lot more cardio, a lot more endurance, but your legs have gotten huge, and so your just body it's more like even from top to bottom, as opposed to just favoring a certain area. Why do you think that is?
Um, well, CrossFit's kind of known to, it's kind of a joke, in the community, or I don't know. I say it still to this day. It's like it's leg day every day here. People are always complaining about their legs being sore, and it's a lot of it has to do with it just being like more of a full body workout multiple
Yeah,
days a week. And so like before, you do legs once a week,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that was your leg day. You do some squats, maybe some leg like curls and extensions, on the machine, where you like stick your legs in there and you start curling your
yeah,
quads and stuff. Um, it seems funny to me now, but it has a place still, even in like high level CrossFitters, they do that stuff. But yeah, I just think it's a lot of it is I mean, CrossFit also, sure, I could run and do all this stuff, but I don't think I was like metabolically healthy. Um, I feel like it really got me to look at my diet. Over it took a little while. It took actually a few years before I was like, okay, I really need to focus on my diet. But
yeah.
it
Because
also
you were
got me
a
to look
super
at,
picky eater, super
yeah,
picky, very limited.
yeah, and I also was smoking at the time, when
Yeah,
smoking cigarettes, like so I was bodybuilding, but I'd smoke like a pack and a half of cigarettes a day.
yeah,
And I was able to like put on some muscle and stuff. But I didn't really feel like healthy. And you get thrown into some CrossFit workouts and you just get hit in the face, like you just get stuck in your tracks, like you can't keep moving, and you don't want to be that guy. You see other people, pushing through, or they're able to be, they're a little bit more fit than you. That's what that means. If they're able to keep going past a certain point, that's like the definition of fitness. There's a whole equation for it. You probably remember from the L1, but just like work capacity, like how much work can you do in a period of time?
yeah,
Um, Now, yeah, it was just a cool journey to. I think the biggest thing though was, and I still talk about this, um, or I still like think about it in my head, or I'll talk about it with my wife, and or just random people I meet, or clients even. I try not to like preach CrossFit too much, and like push it down people's throats. But I think the biggest thing was performance, like focusing on performing versus the way you look is
mm-hmm.
so paramount in just, yeah, the physical changes that I've gone through. I'm almost 40, and I'm by far like the most aesthetic that I've been. And that's like not focusing on aesthetics, which is the
Yeah,
craziest thing. It's
yeah,
focusing on like how many, how can I increase this weight for like my power clean, like, and working with percentages to get there, or how can I do more strict handstand push-ups, or more ring muscle ups. It's like pushing the numbers, and focusing on those things rather than like the way I look in the mirror, you know. And so those things, yeah. And lo and behold, that was a trick for me. And it's definitely not for everybody, but it's for anybody. So,
I love
but
that saying.
that's a famous line that Greg Glassman says, CrossFit is not for everybody, but it's for anybody. And it's kind of like one of those like, what does that mean? It's it's just not for some people,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's but it's for anybody. Are you that person?
Yeah. It's interesting.
Anyone can do it, but it takes a certain type of person to to kind of understand it or enjoy the experience of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not even what he means when he says that. But I like the like vagueness of that quote.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think what he means by it is literally anybody can do it. You can have grandmas
Yeah.
in there doing it. I've seen some cool videos of old men like deadlifting more than I can. I'm like, dang, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's funny too, like what I've noticed with our staff, and I think you've noticed this too, is they do the program, they like CrossFit, and then they go through this weird transition of I'm just gonna go to Golds and do my own thing. Like there's this weird like thing. And so like I will ask some of our staff, I'm like, dude, I don't get it. Why would you pay and go to Golds and work out by yourself when we have this here? This is what got you clean and sober. Like what is the back off? And like a few of them are like, well, it's kind of like ego, and again, some of them have like this emphasis. I want to just get like real big and bulky, and CrossFit, you do so much like cardio, I don't feel like it helps me bulk. And other people are, are like, well, I have to modify everything. And it's hard on my ego because I can't do things RX or I can't do certain things. And so it's interesting to see how even, we have a CrossFit gym on the premises, classes provided for free for our staff, and we still get staff who got sober with it but still go down to Golds because of the mindset or the ego or whatever like they're looking for that they don't think they can find with it.
Yeah. It's not comfortable. There's
Right.
nothing comfortable about CrossFit, in my opinion. Like in the positions that it forces you to be in, you see, I'm sure you've seen it hundreds of times now. Like, okay, let's get in our front rack position for like front
Yeah.
squat. And
Yeah.
it's just people can't get there easily. And then you like, you maybe move their elbows a little bit or you start to help them position their body right. And then they're like, are you serious? This is it? And they're like, oh.
Yeah, you're right.
There's
Flexibility is an issue, especially for people who do have more muscles. Like you'll tell them front rack,
yeah,
and it's literally straight vertical. They can't, like, if they let go of that bar, it's just dropping straight down. I'm like, dude, if you just lift it up a little bit, like just a little, it'll like rest on your rack. But they just like I don't know if it's more of a mental thing or a physical thing or a little of both. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah. I think a lot of it. There's also a stigma with CrossFit. It's been people love to make fun of it. And that's fine. They can do it. People can do whatever they want. But I still think like the more I do CrossFit, the healthier I feel. And
Yeah.
it's a linear, or it's progressing. Like my resting heart rate continues to kind of trend downwards. There's clear metrics that show that I'm getting healthier.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
look at how often you're sick now compared to how often you used to be sick. We would just say the word sick and it was like, oh, there's Tom. Fuck. He's sick. And
yeah,
now like, yeah.
yeah, not eating well, and then just a lot of the cigarette smoke, I think, is really just destroys your immune system
Yeah.
so bad. So,
And
and
you've basically handled your asthma too. Like you had bad asthma the majority of your life, and that's pretty in check now, right?
yeah, I haven't used my inhaler in years.
Well,
And
except when we go to aftershock because of all the dry grass and
oh yeah, I think I may have used it at night like then, but um despite like, or I'm sorry, if it's not like circumstances like that, like I just don't need it as much anymore. Um, yeah, it's so cool. It's crazy to think about. Sometimes I forget about that as well. Like, oh my gosh, yeah. When I first started CrossFit, I was like, I would be in the middle of a class and need to go over to my bag and sneak a puff of my inhaler.
yeah.
Granted, I was smoking, and that was a big part of it. But even after I quit smoking for years, I was still using my inhaler a lot. And it's kind of weird. I'm a little puzzled. I can't give CrossFit and CrossFit training 100% the credit. I think it has to do with, yeah, diet as well, maybe mainly diet. And I started taping my mouth at night too. So that I think that kind of shifted things for me to help me breathe through my nose more, like during the day,
Mm-hmm.
which is like more of a natural filter and is like a better like breath pattern.
Way
So
healthier. We're supposed to be breathing through our noses, and
yeah,
we've become that book Breath by, I think it's James Nestor.
yeah, that's it.
Fascinating, fascinating, where it talks about, like even how our facial structures have changed so much through the years, through the centuries, because of becoming mouth breathers, and how unhealthy that is for us. And if we can retrain ourselves to only breathe through our nose, how much better and healthier we'd all be
Yeah,
from
I
the
agree.
breath.
Yeah, that I listened to that book as well,
Yeah.
and that was like that sold me on it. Like, okay, I'm just gonna put this little piece of tape like right over my mouth at night, and I still do it, and I don't even think about it. You know,
Yeah,
it's
you're more disciplined than me on that one. I did it and then I've forgotten and I haven't got back on it yet.
yeah. I have, obviously forgotten about. There'll be some night where I'll fall asleep before I put it on or something. I'm just like really tired and I just fall asleep. Um,
But you know what I'm
I'll wake
beating you
up.
at is the breathing meditations. I do that every day.
Yeah.
Like 20 to 30 minutes, I do the breathing meditations. So hopefully I'm training it in that way since I'm
Yeah,
not putting it on before
for
bed.
sure. Yeah, but when I forget, I'll wake up and I'll noticeably feel worse, like, and my mouth will be dry or something, and I'll just wake up and I'll just feel like a little on edge or something. Like I'm
Yeah.
not sure how to explain it. I just don't feel as like rested,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Like, and also like maybe I was like under a little bit of stress, like while I was sleeping. It was like something like that, and
Interesting.
so yeah, so every once in a while that'll happen and then I'll like really like kick into gear and not forget for a long period of time. So I'm in gear right now, as far as mouth tape goes. I'm very disciplined with it. Yeah, and I really think like if I ever do feel like I'm getting asthma, um, a lot of the time it has to do with like I'm talking a lot,
Mm,
like, and I'm not breathing. You're not breathing through your nose a whole lot when you're talking. At least I don't.
yep.
Like when I take a breath right between when I'm, us communicating right now, it's a mouth breath. It's not a nose breath for some reason. So I guess I'm still figuring that out. But yeah, I think there could be something there. But
Mhm.
once again, um, yeah, once again, I don't know. It's cool though, cool to think about. Cool to connect CrossFit to that though, because I'm sure it played a big role in helping me, get away from asthma. I mean, it got me to quit smoking
Yeah.
because you obviously can't perform very good if you're smoking cigarettes. Uh,
We've
so
seen it. People are out puking in the bushes.
yeah,
Well, it's a choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that stuff's no good. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah, so that's
So
uh,
did you try? I feel like you did. So I know Tom Brady sponsored the Airwave, which was that mouth guard that you put in your mouth while you're training to force you to breathe through your nose. Did you try that or no?
it's actually not designed to get you to breathe through your nose.
Oh,
What it does is it pushes your jaw slightly forward, and that apparently opens up the airwave. It like creates
mm,
a bigger airflow through your mouth.
okay.
Um, People breathing through their nose, like while working out, is like is a thing, but it's not the same as the airwave. But I did try it to answer your question, and I didn't like it because I just don't. I I don't. I want to have as minimal things as possible to worry about. You know, like so. I don't want. I mean, I often wear like I accessorize a lot. Like sometimes I'll have the full deal on. Like weightlifting belt, weightlifting shoes, knee sleeves, wrist wraps,
Uh,
the whole deal. Especially if it's like I'm going really like heavy or something.
yeah,
The last thing I want is to add more to that.
it's true. That's a lot.
I have this mouthpiece, and you can't talk with it in.
Yeah.
So like every time if you're working out with other people and you need to talk, you have to take it out. So that means you have to touch it.
You.
And I don't know. I just didn't get into it,
Yeah.
and so I didn't really give it a chance. I can't really say that it's like doesn't work or whatnot,
Yeah.
but it's just yeah,
Not for
I
you.
still have it.
Yeah. Yeah. I am definitely in a workout, a mouth breather. Like when I'm trying to catch my breath, I'm like, I need like a full breath, and I don't feel like I get that when I exclude my mouth from that process.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I like to try different things. I remember when I was listening to that book we were just talking about, Breathe
Hmm.
by James Nestor. I was listening to it, and there's this place that I go run by my house. It's like this big, mile and a half loop, and it's flat-ish. And I was listening to the book, and in the book, at some points they talk about exercising, breathing through your nose only. And I remember I did the 1.5 mile loop just through my nose only, and I was successful, but I've never done it again.
Were you lightheaded? Did it make you lightheaded?
It just was like uh yeah, it was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Um and one of those things like just kind of like mouth tape, how it didn't catch on for you.
Yeah.
Running with my mouth closed did
Not so
not
much.
catch on for me at all. It was very yeah, very there's a lot of panic, it's like hard to, maybe it was like a little too much at once.
Yeah. 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 Maybe you should have tried like half a mile before you went a
Of
mile and a half.
course, but me,
Of course. I mean,
us,
yeah.
it's like we're gonna go all in.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so the airwave not wasn't for me.
Not for you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I like
Yeah.
to kind of keep it as minimal as possible, and and it's like thinking about myself with the knee sleeves, the wrist straps, and all that stuff. I usually only wear a weightlifting belt. I'll try not to use.
Are you
I'll
putting in
try
a
not to use
disclaimer right now? You're like, listen,
yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
trying
that
to save
guy. Let me
face.
just tell you.
Yeah, just I try not to be that guy. You know,
Yeah.
overly accessorized.
Yeah.
It's funny. But I just think all those things kind of weaken also, those parts of your body, like the wrist wraps, the knee sleeves. I mean, I guess if it like takes away pain, like, and it gets you through something that you would otherwise feel like a lot of pain in, I think that's makes sense. But
Yeah, I wore wrist straps for years. That was the main thing I wore because my wrists were just weak. And now and granted, I'm not pushing as much weight overhead all the time, but I don't pretty much the only thing I use are the wad and duns for my hands
yeah,
because they'll tear if I don't. So other than that, I have gotten out of almost everything, but I used to do it all too. The belt, knee sleeves I never got so much into. It's kind of weird. They like make your knees all sweaty. It's like wetsuit material. It's crazy. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because everybody else is doing it, but okay.
yeah, you don't need them.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not needed
Yeah.
unless you have like knee problems or you had a surgery or I mean I guess if some people they go really really heavy in there like they'll say like my knee feels like it's gonna explode. It's
Pop.
like
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Put
well
it on.
yeah, maybe you should wrap that thing up,
Yeah.
put a knee sleeve on, make you, feel a little bit more secure. But
But I think that's a lot of it is it's that feeling of secure because that's like the
yeah,
weight belt for me. Like for me, it was almost like it's business time. The weight belt's coming on. It's and I think maybe because I can't even think of a weight belt that actually fit me correctly. It's almost more of like a placebo for my head. Like, yes, we're going for a PR now. Let me put this belt on. And it was like a yeah, it just helped me mentally. I don't know how much it helped me physically, but when I had it on, I felt like this was it. It's on.
yeah, yeah. That's the way I feel with the weight belt too. I pretty much use it all the time now. I mean, because I've hurt my back before, and that's no fun.
Yeah.
You like must be like a slip disc or something. I don't know. Like didn't um, you know. I think that's what it was. But uh, no, there's no reason to take a risk like that. And I slipped a disc at a weight that's like not really that heavy. So it makes me go, okay, I guess I'll just, better safe than sorry with something like that. That once the back, like it can be pretty bad when you slip a disc. I
Yeah.
was last time I did it, I was doing some snatches and I was laid out literally like couldn't do anything for 2 days.
Ugh.
Like icing, just I had to like when I say laid out, like I was laying on like basically like hardwood floor, just like well, there's a rug, but like laying on the ground, like something hard
Yeah.
for days
Yeah.
until it kind of let go and I was able to move around and I had that full like crooked thing and it's no fun.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
that
it's interesting because I think, it kind of all plays together. Like we were started this conversation talking about the open workouts and and I was partnered up with a client and one of them, I forget, maybe it was the dumbbells and it was like deadlift, but I was the second one to go. I let them go first and then I went after them and I wasn't as warmed up
Mhm.
because, they did their whole 20 minutes and then we just went straight into heat two. So I wasn't warm. And I had been telling them, one of my favorite things that I like to tell people is like, when my daughter after I had my daughter, so your bones as a woman get all like soft and malleable because you're giving birth and your body's got to like bend to accommodate that. So after I had my daughter, I had her on my hip and I went down to pick up my purse like kind of crooked like that and it threw my back out. So this was forever ago and I couldn't move and I started going to chiropractor, went to the chiropractor for years and years and years. And it was like maintenance, nothing was fixing it. It was horrific. I hated the pain. Therefore, I couldn't work out, couldn't do this, couldn't do that. So then when I started CrossFit, of course, it agitated it. That old injury started coming back and I had to go to the chiropractor all the time. Every time I'd work out once a week, I was back there for maintenance. But after maybe 3, 4 years of CrossFit, all of a sudden my core was finally strong enough and I'd built up enough strength in my abs, in my back, in everything where I no longer needed to go to the chiropractor anymore. And so now it's at a point where I haven't gone in years. So anyway, I'm telling this story to the clients about, oh, this is this, but you do it long enough and then you won't have these injuries. Then we do that workout and I'll be goddamn if I didn't like re-injure that exact thing. I couldn't walk. I was like, oh my God, did I really just re-injure this? I was like stressed out and took the weekend, iced, heated, used all my different, deep blue and all the different rub-ons and everything. And I was shocked. It was like better within like a day and a half. Like I didn't have to go back to the chiropractor. I wasn't back into now I've re-injured myself. I just took really good care of it. But again, it was just building the core strong enough that it can kind of prevent injuries. And just because something seems like the old injury doesn't mean it has to be. And so that's where I think mindset is a big part of it, is to not go back into that loop of, oh, here we go again. And then, almost dramatizing it with our bodies.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it can happen despite, you doing CrossFit for however long, like sure you're gonna get stronger, but it just takes a little mistake or just, pulling something a little bit wrong or using the wrong muscle group or not bracing, not bracing's big.
No.
Last time I hurt my back, um, or so a moment ago, I was talking about how when I really, really hurt my back super bad.
Yeah.
I have hurt my back since then, but it was much less memorable. And I really attributed, I, it's funny, it's probably it doesn't sound that great. It's my fault, but I blamed a lot on the shoes I was wearing actually,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I was lifting in a squishier shoe and something I wasn't used to. And so it threw me a little bit off balance, and I think that caused me to tweak my back. But anyways, the point of what I'm saying is, yeah, I can, back injuries can still happen, and it's user error a lot of the time. A lot of people blame, oh, it's CrossFit. No, it's not. It's you, or you're not stretching, or it could be you're not recovering enough, like you're not getting enough sleep, your body isn't recovered from the last time you work out enough. um could be all kinds of things, but
Yeah. That reminds me of, it was a couple of years ago because you were talking about shoes. So this was a few years ago and I was doing 75 hard. And so I had to do, 45-minute workout and it was late and I'm like, oh, I'll just, pull my assault bike outside or I forget, I think it was my assault bike or my rower. And oh, look at these cool Nikes. This is weird. They're in my closet. They're like brand new. I've never worn these. Let's put on these cool new shoes. I'm going to go do this workout. So 45 minutes on the bike, let's say. And I got off and I'm like, dang, dude, my foot hurts so bad. Those shoes must have been too tight and narrow, which Nikes typically are for me, which is probably why they were in my closet. So after that, I was just like, my toe hurt so bad. And I, it was during the pandemic. So I couldn't just like go see a doctor. I was like trying to like Zoom what's wrong. And the doctor's like, dude, I don't know, it looks like, just like arthritis. And I'm like, what? No,
right.
how does that just happen from a workout? Like that doesn't make sense to me. And so anyway, I'm battling with this doctor for years. I just want an x-ray. They x-ray it. It is not broken. But what they did find is there was this condition because of a shorter leg, because of this. But I swear to freaking God, it happened from that workout and wearing those shoes. Like now I have arthritis on my foot and I have all these other things, but I swear it originated from that workout. Like I recall that moment. I haven't got anybody to agree to that with me because they said, it takes a while to get there, but I'm pretty confident it was those shoes in that workout.
It could be. Yeah.
Come on, Doc John, just agree with me here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Doc Tom.
Yeah. No, it very well could be. Yeah.
Or at the very least, it agitated it to a point of no return where it was like, okay, now you got this condition.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it just, it contributed to like an already compromised environment, maybe.
Yeah.
Where
Yep.
you're
But I found the solution. I just got to get down there. They have this amazing stem cell research that they're doing, or not research. They're actually doing stem cell work down in Costa Rica. That I think I am a firm believer is going to fix that for me. So I just got to get down there and get those shots and see, because I got probably another 50 years of life. I don't want to consign to the fact that it's just going to be like this the rest of my life, and I should just get used to it because that sucks.
amazing interventions these days.
Yeah.
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 Stem cells. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll keep you posted on that.
So it's your leg, it's your foot. They're gonna
It's my foot. So here's what happened. So I have this leg is like a half an inch shorter than the other leg, which I didn't know. So basically I'm a gimp. My whole life, didn't even realize it. So there's half an inch there, and then I have these extremely flat feet, right? So I have a short foot and flat feet, and so what happens is my toe is like trying to and then the foot is like caving in the middle a bit again because of the flat and the short. So this big toe is like trying to
arch.
yeah, so I have zero arch. So the toe is like trying to like pull up to sort of pull my foot up to like help it. And
Mhm.
so now it has like this lump of arthritis on my foot, on my big toe, caused by this condition, which makes it difficult for me to wear like high heels that cut across that toe, the top of that toe. So for the most part, like if I'm just walking, it never bothers me. You'd never know shit. We go to Aftershock and I was there for 4 days on our feet nonstop and I was okay, just a little sore, but it's enough where it limits my ability to wear high heels, which sucks because in PR, I like to wear high heels. So there
Yeah.
you go. That's my foot. And it's arthritis. And I swear it was caused by those shoes, not that condition. not that very elaborate medical condition I just told you
Yeah.
about.
Not the leg that's half an inch shorter.
Yeah,
It's
none of that.
it's
It's
the
a shoe.
Nike shoe. It's you're going after a Nike lawsuit.
Dude. Oh, and you love your Nikes. So yeah, yeah, no.
I
It's
haven't been wearing Nike, or no, I do. Yeah, I wear Nikes. What am I talking about?
yeah,
Yeah, I wear
yeah,
Nike weightlifting shoes. For my regular training shoes, I don't wear Nikes anymore. Maybe if they come out then the next Metcons and they're better than the last ones, who knows? That could change.
yeah.
But
Well, have you tried the new Go Rucks? Because now they're the new sponsor of CrossFit and shoes
yeah,
since they moved away from Noble.
yeah. No, I didn't. I haven't tried them. They're not a new shoe. I think they're going to come out with a brand new shoe uh, around the corner here, like right before the games.
Hmm.
I think they're going to come out with the new shoe. So I had seen what are they, the tactical trainer or something. I think that's called tactical trainer. I've seen those for a while now, and they just looked really flat and like kind of like heavy to me. So I never gave them a try. And there's a few people though, since the sponsorship, I've seen, you know, they're trying them out and they like them.
I
Yeah,
do.
but
Yeah, I'm intrigued for sure.
yeah.
Because
So
that's
I
what I love about Noble is they're flat and wide. So they're like made for my feet. That's pretty much the only thing I wear. But these Go Rucks look similar to that.
yeah, they do look wide. They do look flat. You would probably really like them actually. I think they're probably a good shoe for you.
Yeah.
But I wear the rad. Um, they're the rad ones. So it's like a European company.
Oh, right. Yep.
Laura Horvath, Danielle Brandon. They're like the two main sponsors.
Why is
And
there
but
no men sponsors? Why is it all females?
I don't know. I don't know. That's all they need. That's all they need. Believe they're like doing amazingly well as a
Yeah.
company. Their shoes are they're super good, I think.
They're super rad.
They're super rad. Yeah. They feel really, really good. They're great for running, they're good for lifting. Um, good enough for like a lighter bar and stuff. But yeah, I'll probably get them again until they make something better. Or
Yeah.
somebody else says like these ones are better.
We just got to get into the spot of getting you sponsored, Tom. Then you can try all
Yeah,
these things out.
I know. I know. Yeah, follow me on Instagram.
That's right.
That's what it all comes down to, I think, at the end of the day.
Yep. Yep. You just got to become an influencer, and
Followers.
then people are sending you the products just for you to showcase them. And yeah, that's the move.
How many Instagram followers do you have? That's the name of the game. And I don't have very many. So yeah,
It's
follow
a
me.
it's a hard nut to crack that Instagram follower thing. It's
Yeah, there's like I
yeah,
don't, some people, they'll just hit like they'll hit the algorithm just right and they'll really take off. But I mean, there's obviously more to it than that. Maybe a little bit of timing. Obviously, a lot has to do with looks,
yeah.
and being a character,
That's
talking.
just it. Yeah, you can have the looks, but you got to get something that goes viral and that's like funny stuff or different things like that. You got the looks, you're good on that, but you got to come up with something funny. Like we got to do something funny and get a viral video, man.
Maybe in another life.
That's not your thing.
I'll keep trying. I do, yeah, I do like posting fitness videos. I feel like proud of myself, So I'll post like workout stuff often.
Yeah, as you should. You're
Yeah,
inspirational
just
to a
fingers
lot of
crossed.
people.
Maybe I can get something free, free protein shake or. or something.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, just something like here's a protein bar. Try it out. See what you think.
Yeah, it's all for fun though, you know.
Yeah,
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 my my career is not in fitness. It's, you know, with helping people with addiction.
yeah,
And fitness is just like a nice fun thing to do as a hobby. And I guess it's a little more than a hobby because like taking care of yourself and my hobby are tied together. That's not necessarily the same thing like for a lot of people.
yeah,
Whereas like the gym is like a separate thing, and then they have their uh I don't know, maybe they like to go golf or go shooting or
yeah.
hiking, you know, and the gym's still there. So
Yeah.
um
Yeah, we're very fortunate because, we can just do what we love, and that is called leading from the front, because that's what we have our clients do. And that's what
yeah,
is, helping people overcome addiction. So, yeah, just keep doing more of that. You're doing amazing with that.
thank you.
Awesome. Well, let's end this so we don't have to go to a two-parter, and then we'll just pick up a new conversation next week.
Sounds good.
Thanks
Cool.
for coming on the show. Always a pleasure to hang out with you, talk with you. Miss hanging out with you. Back when you lived here, we hung out all the time. Now we don't get that so often. So this will be nice for us to be able to have this once a week anyway.
Yeah, sounds good. Cool.
All right, cool,
All right.
Tom.
All
Talk
right.
soon.
Well, that's it.
That's it. Final
Awesome.
words.
Final words. No, I don't know if I have any final words. Just it was a good. I mean, we talked a lot about CrossFit and the Open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Final words. The Open was super awesome this year. You know, if I
Yeah.
said anything critical about it, I think it was the best year, and I think the quarterfinal workouts were also really cool workouts, super fun to do.
Yeah.
So, and oh yeah, and final words. Yeah, thank you once again for getting me into CrossFit and you know, putting it in my life. Basically, like it was there, it was right there. It was a green light.
Green light. That's right. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Tom.
All right.
Talk soon.
All right.
Bye.
That's it. Bye.